What's going on, everybody? Muni-Lot Madness. This is episode 3. We're kind of all over the place today. Got Kevin coming in from Ohio, Ritz coming in from Cleveland, John Morgs coming in from where are you? Siesta Key right now?
Siesta Key, Florida.
Siesta Key, Florida. You know, I'm out here in LA. So we got to watch the Browns Friday night. I know that me and Kevin, we were together listening to Jim Donovan on the radio. And what's really cool is they got Nathan Zagura with them this year. I think Nathan Zagura is like a great voice to have paired up with Jim Donovan. I just think he's a good replacement. Who did he replace?
Doug Deacon.
Doug Deacon. Now Deacon's a legend. Everybody knows Deacon's a legend, but Zagura, he's just got that positive energy. I fuck with him. I fuck with
I fuck with him too, bro.
Yeah, and then it doesn't get better than Donovan. Donovan's the GOAT. But we got to listen to him on the radio. Morgs, I know. Did you catch any of the game?
Very little. It turns out Siesta Key, being part of Sarasota, is not able to catch his Jags game.
That's right. Yeah.
I assume it's because it's likely part of Tampa Bay's market.
Yeah. And then Rit, you got to watch the majority of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from what I heard, from what I saw as far as the highlights went, that first O that came out, it was kind of just it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, they just look really sloppy. They look like it was some of the first football that they've played. There was a little, some good things. You could see Deshaun moving around a little well in the pocket, threw a couple dimes, also airmailed Schwartz on that first one, but nothing really out of those guys, and it seems like they're not going to be playing many starters in the next one, so hopefully the third one.
That's what I saw. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Hopefully the third game we can see Deshaun and some more starters as Mario or some of those guys out there.
Yeah, now, does anybody know if Jacoby Brissett is going to be playing in this one?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think I saw something that he is. Let me take a look.
Yeah, I mean,
Like Dobbs the backup, bro.
that's what shit, if Dobbs is keeping
man.
like this, but then again,
Against third stringers.
against third stringers, exactly. So, I mean, throw Dobbs in there, maybe right off the bat against a first team defense.
It sounds like he's expected to take first team reps this week, so I would assume he's probably
Going to play a couple
gonna
series.
play this week. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's tough. Second, third play in, our starting center goes down.
Go
Like,
figure.
go
That's some Brown shit
figure.
right there. You gotta expect at least one person to go down
Dude.
in the preseason game.
Yeah. And it's like we had Jakeem Grant go down earlier in the week. Nick Harris. It's week 1 of the preseason, and we already have 2 guys out for the year.
They're young though, so I
Yeah,
get
just
that they
say
like need the work, but like at the same time, it's like it sucks for the rest of the season.
It really
Losing
does. And from
two
what I've
people
heard,
Like it's 2 people that are gonna play.
yes, from what I heard, Nick Harris like worked his ass off this offseason just to like get that starting job.
Yeah. It sounds like the backup. I forget his name, but it sounded like he started
Ethan Pochich.
started like 40 career games, and it sounded like Nick Harris worked really hard to get the job. So, I mean, on the
Yeah.
bright side, we have a guy with experience.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is that experience was spent in Seattle, and we all know how Seattle's line has been over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I know that we just put out a stat the other day. I think Russell Wilson was over the last 3 seasons, he's been hit 5th most out of any quarterback. Average time per game is about like 10.2. So we know that Ethan Pochich was part of that offensive line.
It's gotta help. It's gotta help Pochich having big boy Batonio and Teller next to him.
Oh,
the
by
snaps,
far.
Right. That'll
Yeah,
help.
you're stepping in between 4 guys that are like,
Right.
pretty much all of them can
Well,
be Pro Bowlers.
3, but
Yeah. Yeah. Are you hinting at Wills? Yeah.
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 Sorry,
Hey,
Jed, but I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, the story
me
isn't
neither.
I wanted to happen. I needed to happen, but
Fair though. He hasn't.
fair.
I mean,
It's fair. I mean, the thing is like he's athletic enough and to where his ceiling is like pretty damn high.
I know Joe Thomas was stupidly high on him coming out of the draft. He was all about him he had him as the best tackle in the class. So, Joe knows a lot more about the position than I do, so I'll take his word for it, but still waiting to see it.
Yeah. Other than just the offensive line, God, I mean the rookies and the second year players really came to play Friday night. You had Martin Emerson with the pick six, Jerome Ford. We ran that poll over the week and everyone kind of picked him as far as player of the game. So you had Martin Emerson showing out, Jerome Ford showing out. Isaiah Thomas had 2 sacks. But yeah, people came to play, especially our young guys, which was really cool to see.
Did Perrion play?
Yeah.
How did he do?
He did some good stuff. I mean, he didn't have any big flashes, but he made a couple tackles. He did pretty
It's
good.
hard to make big plays at that position anyway.
They didn't say anything negative about him really, so when that's the case, he's doing fine, I guess.
Facts, yeah. As far as anything else preseason, what else do you guys expect? Just for the remainder of what do we got? 2 or 3 more games?
Two.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys expect as far as the next 2 games?
I mean, I want to see Brissett.
I do too.
I feel like that's like he needs to play in these last 2 games.
Yeah. Like I got I gotta see him at least get a whole quarter in, if not one half. I can't have him playing 3. I can't have Jacoby Brissett, who's gonna be my starter for pretty much the whole year, going in and playing 3 games. I mean, not 3 games, 3 series.
I'm not pressing him playing much. He's been in the league long enough. I feel like he doesn't. Not that he doesn't need to be out there and get some reps underneath him, but like as a backup quarterback, you're kind of always just waiting to go play some snaps. So like,
Nothing new for him.
He's kind of been in the position where like he could play 1 game a season, he could play 10 games a season, but no matter what, he's got to be ready. So I think seeing Stefanski saying he's getting the bulk of the snaps now in practice and first team reps going forward, I think that is what's valuable in that inter squad scrimmage against the Eagles whenever that's coming up.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he might just like play in that and not even play in the preseason game.
I think he should get some.
No. If they pull that, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
What?
it kind of is, but I could see it. It's kind of saving him for whatever.
I mean, if Kevin,
if it's a practice, if it's practice though, they're not going to tee off on the quarterback. Whereas in the game, he could get fucked up.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's like, I mean, knock on wood, but
I know, but you know what I mean?
what else? I mean, what do we really have anything to lose at this point?
I mean, shit, bro. Like, I know Jacoby Brissett isn't someone we want to roll out there to start, but the last thing I want to do is go from our backup to our backup's backup to fucking Josh Dobbs on like week 3.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even just from a trade perspective, the better we do, the less we gave up to get Watson. So
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to hit another thing. That's wide receiver. Jakeem Grant went down. Schwartz is dropping passes, and I got an inside source that said he's dropping passes in training camp too.
Yeah.
who's your inside court or your inside source? Your eyes.
Our family friend was at the practice today, and he said he was still out there dropping balls.
He said that like it's like fucking Albert Career or something.
Because I do have an inside source. I don't give a fuck if it's a family friend, a guy I know on Twitter. It's an inside source, and we're not going to name drop him.
Hey, listen, if you go look at Brown's Twitter today, they're showing a lot of Schwartz highlights, a lot of diving catches in the end zone.
I'm gonna need those highlights after this.
Did they get that from Madden or?
Hey, all I know is they're tweeting them in today, and then everyone in the comments is saying, we don't want to see this shit. We want to see it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro.
I mean, how do you guys feel right now? Let's go scale 1 to 10. How do you guys feel the wide receiver room is right now? Scale 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
5.5.
It's a 6 because of Amari. I feel like you could even say 7 because he's that good.
I'd say 5 or 6. You got Amari, who is Amari. You got Peoples-Jones, who we're hoping can turn into something. We're optimistic. Whether or not he actually does, we don't know. We like David Bell, but until we see him, we're hoping he turns into Jarvis. And
So keep going.
I mean, are we including tight ends and running backs in this?
You can include a tight end.
And, I like Njoku and Bryant, but there's still a lot of volume that has to go around. And outside of the tight ends and Amari, who do we have that we're comfortable with?
Nobody's. That's why I'm saying like it's got like a 3 or 4.
I think Amari on his own is good for 4. Gets you a nice little baseline there.
And Joku maybe has
and-
1.
And Bryant, you're looking at 5 or 6 between the 3 of them. Hunt, that helps. You still need someone to step up.
I mean, hey, it ain't the Ravens receiving core.
Yeah.
I know Mark Andrews makes up for 5 receivers, but at least we're not rolling with Sharp Bateman as a 1.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think.
I like Bateman. I think you're sleeping on him.
I like Bateman, but I like
He's
Amari
no
Cooper a
Amari
lot more.
Cooper, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I like him a lot more than fucking Bateman.
I just want to see how is
And
Amari
Brissett
Cooper.
isn't Lamar.
That's what I'm saying. How is Amari Cooper going to be with Brissett behind center? Because there's 2 parts of the equation here.
I think the entire season revolves around our quarterback. And I think the fact that last pod we were saying 5 wins tells us all we need to know. I don't think Amari's going to have very good production. I don't think really any of the receivers are going to have good production.
Which
Jacoby
is
doesn't
really
throw the ball
sad
far.
because we need these young guys to like improve. But if Jacoby's not going to be good, then obviously they're not going to get that much better. So,
Right.
Yeah. God. Just
but
it's
they
funny
need
because
to. They need to catch the ball.
Yeah, it's funny because if we were to start this podcast maybe a year ago, we'd be talking about the same shit. The season rides on our quarterback. If we were to start this podcast 20 years ago, we would be saying the same shit. The season rides on our quarterback.
I mean, at the end of the day, we still need receivers. Like, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is if your receivers are anus. Yeah, I mean, hell, we got Schwartz dropping balls like a fucking middle school classroom. Balls are just dropping left and right.
I agree. I think just like how you think the receivers. I mean,
It's
the
okay. I
quarterback-
hate myself too.
I just also think that goes both ways. The quarterback ain't shit without the receivers, and the receivers aren't shit without their quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the passing game is gonna have its struggles this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that kind of takes me into like just roster bubble players that maybe will be cut. That the Browns could look at as maybe bringing in and just adding some depth and some experience to the wide receiver room. I know that there's some wide receivers that are potential bubble players. You got Denzel Mims, you got Darius Slayton, so 2 New York guys, and then familiar name that I'd like to see come back because I still have not gotten rid of his jersey, Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon could get cut from the Chiefs, so I mean, at this point, would you not want to see Josh Gordon back?
No. Why the fuck would I?
Because
He'd be a solid number 2.
Because
Yeah.
15 years ago we had a good season.
no, but I mean, if
I think DPJ is a better number 2 than him. You kidding me? Josh fucking Gordon, what are we talking about, dude? He's like 90 years old.
Throw him in the rotation.
throw him in the rotation.
I'd rather have a couple.
The only rotation that man's getting into is the blunt rotation.
Count me in there too.
Yeah, bro.
Which I don't think you could get
I'll come.
suspended for that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
He'll find a way.
You'll
Okay.
find a way. I don't know. I always like Josh Gordon. I'd bring him back at this
We
point.
all do, but at a certain point, you just look at it and you know it doesn't even matter who does what. Somehow Goodell is going to find a way to suspend Gordon for it.
I think he has his head in his shoulders now. I just don't. I mean, he just doesn't like.
Somehow, some way, what's going to happen is the Deshaun Watson news is going to come down, and Goodell's going to find a way to include Gordon in the suspension. He's like, you didn't even do it, but I'm suspending you anyways.
We came up on Deshaun's text messages. I mean, but honestly, I'd like Darius Slayton. I maybe even like Cole Beasley, but we kind of have that possession guy in Dave Bell. But at the same time, bro, as depressing as it sounds, I don't want to waste money on fucking receivers for this year when we're gonna need them next year. Like,
Yeah.
I'm already like ready to punt on this fucking season. I know that's lame, and I know you can't do that with your players, but like, bro, we're rolling out Jacoby Brissett. What are we doing?
I'd love to see them make a move for Denzel Mims. I think, he's on the bubble, so they can get him cheap. He was just, the 50th overall pick 2 years ago, so still on a rookie contract. And the dude's talented. I don't know what the hell is going on in New York, but
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to be like on the bubble, man. He should have a solidified spot there, I feel like.
Denzel Mims. I know
yeah,
they just drafted a wide receiver. They got Corey Davis.
they got Corey Davis, they got Garrett Wilson, they got Elijah Moore. So
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's like what else? I'd rather play those guys than
yeah.
they can give up Mims.
I mean,
They've
what if someone was a
got,
breeder
what's
now?
his name? Braxton Berrios. So like,
He's
Yeah.
solid. He's a good
He
returner.
was
Yeah.
insane in
Zach
high
Wilson's boy.
yeah, at this point, he's competing to maybe be wide receiver. Or I loved the talent coming out, but like you're not going to play him over Corey Davis when Corey Davis is doing better and just being paid more.
I mean, at the end of the day, I say why even, like Joe said, like why even look right now? Like kind of, we know we're going to have Watson next year, just like wait to make our plays next offseason.
Because you can
See
probably
who's
get
gonna
him for
be-
a 6th or 7th round pick.
Yeah, I think they'll
He's
make
worth
I
kicking the
think-
tire on.
I think they'll make them. They kind of have to, but you just wish we didn't have to. As a guy,
I mean, shit, we got Amari for a 5th round pick.
what about Andy Isabella? I mean,
I do like
That
Isabella.
guy.
I like Cole Beasley, bro. I like that choice.
I'd like Cole Beasley too.
Because you're saying like David Bell, I mean, we're expecting him to be that guy, but we don't even know if he's gonna be. Whereas Cole Beasley, like he is that guy.
like, you know what he is.
Yeah, but Bell is dirt cheap. So like for that role where like what we need him to do, especially with the expectations this year, I would rather just go with David Bell, take the shot on the young guy where you're paying him a 10th of what Beasley would want. And you stay young, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, this guy's good. We have to pay him next year, even though he's fucking 30.
Hear me out. It wouldn't happen just because they wouldn't trade him to us. But I was just looking around at the team hashtags on Twitter today, and all the Steelers fans are saying like, next year or this year, trade Claypool's ass. I would take him if they would trade him to us.
Yeah, but that's nobody's training with him.
Right? They're not gonna trade him. But
Dude, I don't want that dude on our team. I can't stand like looking
Almost
at
like
him.
it's like Juju's little brother.
Not even, bro. He's like looks like the fucking like predator.
He's everything that we hate about Jackson Mahomes and Juju Smith-Schuster in one person.
yeah, that's not a good combination.
No, it's not. But he's big and he can run.
Kind of reminds me of you.
Next year's combine, we're gonna need.
Don't ever put that on me,
We need to do
Ricky
the
Bobby.
Morgs is gonna,
Oh,
Morgs is gonna give
God.
us his. Morgs is gonna drop his mock draft, and then he's also gonna do the same.
Rich Eisen 40.
The Rich Eisen 40 for like 40 million.
Right.
We'll have people donate to the cause.
That'd be great.
So Jerome, going back to kind of just our
I guess I
weapons.
gotta start working on my cardio again.
No more
Oh,
Bo.
want to see my flubby ass running around.
Going back to our weapons. So wide receivers, so running back. Jerome Ford had a good night. Dearness Johnson has kind of been a solid back when needed. So is Kareem Hunt, is he expendable?
No.
Absolutely. I hate to say it, but he's absolutely expendable. Just from a roster building perspective, he wants paid. They're not going to give him the raise. The best case scenario is he plays this year, balls out, and it's an Njoku situation where they give him his money, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think they're going to devote that kind of resources to a 27-year-old running back.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be traded?
I think he wants to be here, and I think at the end of the day, we're gonna find a way to keep him here for like another 2 years at least.
I mean, I would like it. I love Kareem. He's like one of my favorite players, but I do agree with Morgs. It is kind of an expendable position just in general.
We have the deepest running back room in the league.
right.
It's
And then when you
fucking
see Jordan
ridiculous.
Ford last night, it's like I know he's playing against some bummy kind of boys, but like that was kind of just an obvious little something there that
Honestly, by the end of the game, they were pulling people out of the stands to play.
I mean, dude, I feel like sometimes I can run behind Wyatt Teller and Joe Batonio.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you guys. I think Kareem Hunt, I mean, I think he'd definitely be expendable at this point.
I think he's great in the passing game. Like to me, like he's just a great pass catcher, and we're already slim receivers. So like, I think it'd be sick to stick him out in the slot sometimes and whatnot, just throw a ball to him, or have
What do
those
you do with Demetric Felton?
right and just like give it to Kareem. But who knows what they're thinking about?
You know whose offense he'd be really good in over in the NFC?
Who?
San Francisco.
I like the dramatic pause there.
I think, let's be honest.
We need hey,
My dead mother
let me
could-
finish. Let me finish. Okay. We need a wide receiver, right? Who's a troubled wide receiver who's had issues?
Ayuk, no, he's fucking tearing it up in camp. They're not gonna trade him for,
For a running back, are you fucking kidding me? Who needs to get paid?
especially when my dead mother could rush for 1,000 yards in that offense.
Well, it's not even really about just trading for Kareem. It's then you also got to pay him too. And he's already 27, 28 years old. Like, who knows? The question I have is like Morgs is saying, is it smart for him to tear it up here and then get a contract elsewhere? Or is it smart for him to go somewhere now, get way more carries,
Especially,
but he could
especially
get way more
coming off,
carries somewhere else.
yeah, especially when he's coming off last year where he missed half the season.
But my thing
Like
is,
what, like 4 games, 5 games?
but he's always splitting carries. So do you think maybe in his mind, if he goes somewhere else, he's getting more carries, therefore a potential to make more money?
I mean, Chubb misses like 4 games a year, bro.
He does.
Yeah, like they're like literally last year Chubb was out for like 4 games, then Kareem was out for 4 games, and they just like, and then they both came back.
Morgs is checking something.
Or I feel like they were both hurt last year, weren't they?
They were.
Kareem is like
Dubs
18.
missed some time. Rookie year, 16 games, second year, 16 games, 2020, 12, last year, 14.
Okay, so he's missed some games. So last year he missed
So
5
in
games.
4 years, he's missed what?
6.
That's 7 games.
I
over the
know.
course
I'm
of
just
4
saying,
years.
like the
I wouldn't-
past 2 years. You're saying though, the past 2 years he played what, 12 last year or 14?
He played
14 last year,
14
12 the
last
year
year.
before.
Okay, so like yeah, that's like right when we got Kareem. So like
Okay,
You know
but
what I mean?
most running backs aren't playing more than 14 games a year.
I know, but I'm just saying like you get rid of Kareem, then you don't have that guy to just like plug right in.
No, we
Ernest
do.
Johnson seems like
We
he did
do.
great.
Dearness Johnson and Jerome Ford. That's
Jerome Ford.
I
We
know.
have John Kelly. Like we
I
don't
would-
even talk about.
I
the
would
guy
say
that's
that's a
on the
pretty big
roster.
jump from Kareem Hunt to Dearness Johnson, but maybe that's just
I don't know.
I would
Tell the
say-
Broncos that. Tell
I
that
would
to
say
the
Kareem is
Broncos.
better.
You
I
put up
think
what,
Kareem
like
is definitely
140
better.
yards on them?
I
Like,
think
yes,
is
Kareem
definitely
is better, but it's a question of, is he so much better that it's worth paying him instead of going with Dearness Johnson, who's making what, 1.2 million?
I mean, hey, dude, I know he had a small sample size, but somehow Dearness was the highest rated running back in the entire league last year.
no. I think he's good. I'm just saying I think it's a big drop off.
I mean, I think
I-
it's a drop off. I don't know. I don't know if I would
I
say
don't
it's
know how
big.
much it is.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big drop off. Just the fact that our offensive line is the best in the league.
That does help.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at as far as the Kareem Hunt situation. I know they're not paying him, and yeah, he probably wants to stay because we're the team that gave him a second chance and everything. And but it's like that's not how the business works.
I say,
Especially
Yeah,
I say give him his money.
no.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think.
I want to keep him. I
At
honestly
the end of
wanna
the day,
keep
I
him,
think
but that's why-
everybody wants Kareem to stay in Cleveland. I think the organization wants him. I think Chubb wants it. Well, I know Chubb wants him. I think Kareem wants to stay in Cleveland. It's just, I don't know that they're gonna be able to make it work.
And honestly, it's so nice. The past 4 years, it's been so nice to kind of stockpile these guys. But like now that we actually have a quarterback going into next year, like these are like the growing pains of having a fucking elite QB. Like we're gonna lose some guys, and we're gonna have to make it work where we can't and where we like don't typically. And like he's gonna be one of those guys that 1, he's 27, 2, he's a running back, and 3, we already got a baller. So I think it's just unfortunate, but who knows?
It's a reality of the business.
Yeah. Agreed. Any other bubble players you guys like?
Yeah, there's this dude, Patrick Mahomes. I think he's about to get cut.
Fuck you.
I think he would be a great idea to pick him up once they cut him.
Yeah. So next game is we play who?
The Eagles,
We play the Eagles. What day is that?
I think Sunday.
Is it
Sunday
Sunday?
at 1.
It is. Yeah, it's Sunday at 1. We play the Eagles. Nice.
Right
So
off the dome.
starters aren't going to be playing in that, which I think is good. Would actually want everyone to sit the rest of the preseason except for Jacoby Brissett. I got to see him play some fucking games.
I guess I guess I don't get why. Like, what are you going to see in the preseason if he gets like a series or 2 or 3 or a quarter? Like, okay, if he throws a couple slant passes, like, is that going to be all right? He's good to go now. Like, what does like a quarter of a preseason game make a difference of? I mean, he's been in the league for 10 years. Like, well,
I just want to see the motherfucker play.
go on YouTube, bro.
That's how Rick's gonna get through the
I mean,
next year. He's like,
I
I'm
guess.
watching YouTube. It's the same as having Deshaun.
Listen, dude, I'm gonna be watching Deshaun
I mean,
for the next 365 days.
Dude, he's getting fucking like older and shit. You want to see what he can like do in a live game. Like,
I
you know what I
agree.
mean? Like
played
against
Miami.
another team. Like, you want to see that. Like
Live.
Deshaun, give him like 3 series and that's it.
Like game situation with the ones, working on timing, working against a defense that's all the 12, 11 players are potentially starters.
But then again, they're doing the practice, so it's like, what's it matter? So if he just does that,
Oh
then
yeah, the joint practice. Is that with the Eagles? Is that
Yeah.
this week or next?
I think it's
Works.
this week. So it's like he might just play in that and not play, like I was saying.
Okay, yeah. We'll see. It's about all the Browns news we got so far. Besides, yeah. So I guess we'll go into our weekly picks. So we're going MVP picks. Who wants to start us off?
I will.
Who's your MVP? I believe it was Josh.
Josh Allen, damn straight. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. People say he reminds like them of Cam. I don't really think he reminds
He's
me
better than Cam ever was.
better than Cam ever was. I think he's way more durable. I don't really see him getting hurt ever. I just think he's in for a really good year.
All right.
What Kev said, ×2. Josh Allen's that dude.
Yeah. Morgs.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to go with the chalk pick, but it's Allen. You know, I said he's better than Cam ever was, and that's not even a knock on Cam. Cam was unbelievable his MVP year, and Allen's a better passer than Cam ever was, and he's just as big. He's honestly faster. Like, watching that man play in the AFC or during the playoffs last year, I swear to God, it was like watching a natural disaster. There was just no stopping it. He didn't lose that game.
It was so
He lost a coin flip.
Yeah, that game was unreal. Unfortunate, but wait, did the overtime rules change this year, or did that?
Something happened with that because of that game. They changed it.
I'm pretty positive something changed with overtime rules.
I don't think it did. I know a lot of people wanted it to, but I don't think anything happened with that.
Okay, we'll have to double check.
I think I think maybe the Cowboys proposed something, but I don't think it went
I have to
through.
get Brendan on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get Bendo on that.
My pick was Derek Carr. I think the secret sauce to winning the MVP's Devontae Adams. Look at the last 2 years. You got Aaron Rodgers, followed by Aaron Rodgers.
Hey.
Right, I forgot that Aaron Rodgers was just a scrub before Devontae Adams.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying the secret sauce is the secret sauce that Aaron Rodgers has taken.
Oh, I'm
Ayahuasca.
bro.
Yeah, that ayahuasca.
Derek, no.
DMT.
So listen. Derek Carr's in the AFC.
Every quarterback
AFC
is
West.
about to be bong rip. It's like about to beer bong ayahuasca for the next month.
Derek Carr's in the
He has
AFC.
bad trips in the
Jesus
playoffs.
Christ. Derek Carr is in the AFC West. There's going to be a lot of shootouts, I think, of some high-scoring games. So he's going to be getting a lot of yards, I think, this year, topping off what he previously had the following couple of years. I just think it's going to be really tough to you can't. I mean, yeah, I just think it's going to be tough to play the Raiders' offense this year.
Probably that applies to every quarterback in that division. Every single one of them is going to be at the same situation. They're all going to be in shootouts because they're all in the AFC West. they're all gonna be getting stupid amounts of yardage because they're all in the AFC West and they're all gonna be in shootouts every, 7 games, 6. Like,
Yeah, but it's
that
different.
applies
when
to
they have-
every single quarterback in that division.
Okay, but I also have the Raiders going to the Super Bowl, so that's kind of like the difference. He's going to be winning more games than everybody else.
Fair. Based on what?
What do you mean based on what?
Well,
Based
I
on
think
that,
we can say that
yeah.
pretty much every offense in that division is gonna be just as good, if not better. There's 2 or 3 defenses in there that I take over the Raiders, so how do you have them getting to the Super Bowl over them?
Listen, how many defenses did you take over the Bengals last year?
Probably about 15, 16.
Exactly. So I don't think
Going into the year, it would have been more than that, but
I guess what I'm saying is I don't think the Raiders need to have a top 10, top 5 defense to, I think whatever.
But they haven't had a top
stuff.
over the last 8 years, they've had the worst defense.
But dude, look
I'm
at
not
the-
even kidding. If you go back to when Derek Carr was drafted, they've had the worst overall defense over that time.
I'm not saying their defense is good by any means, but I'm saying last year they came down to one play and they could have been moving on. I do think.
I think they added 2 great pieces to the defense, Jaylen Brown and Chandler Jones.
I forgot about Chandler Jones.
Everybody forgets about Jones.
They got Mad
Dude
Max.
is so slept on. He leads the league in sacks since he came into it. I don't know. How do we always forget this dude?
Yeah,
He's
and
gotta
I
be a
think the
Hall of
Raiders-
Famer, and we just
No, I think he's a top 5. He's a top 5 pass rusher every year.
He's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Probably, bro.
he leads the league in sacks since he
Damn.
got into the league.
Maybe I'm just sleeping on Chandler Jones.
He's got over 100.
Right. It was him.
The dude's a fucking animal. I don't understand how we always memory hold him, including me, who always says that he slept on. I don't understand it. We all just forget about it. It's the dude's got a magical quality about him where it's you will never remember me. I will put up 15 sacks in a year and you'll forget I exist.
Yeah, so him and Max Crosby.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, I like the Raiders this year.
If the rest of their defense cannot suck ass, that'll be
Morgs,
good.
bro. Morgs sounds like he's bought in right now.
Morgs, did I get him to buy in here?
He looks fired up.
I gotta
Morgs-
look at the rest of that roster, but it's
They
not
got
as
Jonathan-
ridiculous as I originally thought.
So
Morgs might be
Jonathan,
going to Vegas.
yeah, so Jonathan Abram isn't that big of a as far as his zone coverage and his man coverage, it's not really there, but Jonathan Abram can come down and fill a gap where need be, especially during the run. I think they got some pretty good young corners. None of them really come to mind. I'm trying to think of some names.
They don't need to be great because
No, they really don't.
Crosby and Jones are good enough that all they have to be is not trash. And they'll at least be presentable.
Yeah.
What is Derek Carr going to be thrown to the corners?
No, but you're trying to make sure that every other
Fucking with
fucking
you guys.
quarterback in the division doesn't throw to the corners.
Oh yeah, I'm just fucking with you. Guys.
And I think the Raiders have the best offense in that division.
I said, and it's bias.
Look at him with this confused fucking face. I
No,
said the Raiders have the-
I'm trying to think about the rest of the division.
It'd just be the Chargers. It's them and the Chargers.
Chargers, yeah. Chiefs were there, then they traded Tyreek.
I think they're running out the Chiefs way too early.
I'm not winning on the Chiefs just because the fact they have fucking
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes, Reed, and Eric Bieniemy. It's like the
People
three.
were
and
rooting
Travis
about
Kelce.
4 last year. They're like,
And
oh, the
Travis
Chiefs
Kelce,
are
who's
good.
arguably the best tight end who's ever played.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna
know
be.
they had Tyreek last year, but I feel like I can remember the first couple games. Everyone was shitting on the Chiefs because Mahomes was throwing some stupid turnovers and whatnot.
They
And
do
all
that
that,
every year.
Right, and then they never lost a game. And I feel like I know Tyreek's amazing, but I don't know, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here and Mahomes is right back in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
that would
Tyreek
be
put
fucking
up,
crazy.
little over 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns last year, 111 receptions. You got to replace that production somehow.
Right,
And
a lot of it is catch and run.
yeah,
So let me ask you
that's
this.
actually why I think Miami is going to be better than people want to give them credit for.
I know that
Who was great at setting guys up for yak,
Dude,
and you got
there's-
Waddle and Tyreek.
Waddle, Tyreek, Devontae Parker, Gesicki. They added 2.
Parker got traded. Parker's with the Patriots.
Oh, Parker got
Good.
traded.
Yeah, but Gesicki, the run game is going to be good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. How I know the Packers have a way better defense than the Chiefs, really. I mean, if we're gonna eliminate Tyreek's 1,200 yards from Mahomes and assume that they're gonna be decently worse, how much does the Packers get worse because they lose Devontae Adams?
I think they rely more on the run, which is if you're the Chiefs, I don't think you're relying more on the run as much, just because I think Aaron Jones and what's his name?
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon are just kind of power horses who can take hits. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's kind of been injury prone, and Ronald Jones has too. So I think the Packers will rely on the run a lot more. I know that Aaron Rodgers is going to have to step his game up, which I don't know how much more he could step his game up than before. You're right.
Also, Chiefs still have Travis Kelce, and like Juju's. As much as we shit on Juju, he's not a bad player. He's just kind of a pain in the ass.
He's gonna. I mean, he's a reception guy. He's gonna get a lot of targets.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Sky Moore is fucking everyone up in practice, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's a good question though.
They've got options.
I don't see the Packers getting far in the playoffs, which I mean, it's on Aaron Rodgers there because he waited too long to get his fucking contract in.
Hey, I think now that he's off that DMT shit, he's gonna be winning 10 Super Bowls in a row.
He's gonna it's gonna be a 2-minute drive, and right before you're gonna take a look, and he's just fucking snorting a line of shit.
Yeah.
And then he's just like a goddamn natural disaster. The dude's hallucinating, but like he's having a fucking out of body experience. Sees the defenders moving before they do, and he's like, I think I just traveled to the future.
All right, I'm gonna have to cut you off there. We'll see you guys next podcast. That's the end of Muni-Lot Madness. We'll see you episode 4.